What is up, guys? Trizzle Trey with TrizzTech&Electronics. And today was huge in the technological world. You had your Microsoft Keynote where they announced all of the features of the Xbox One, as well as WWDC kicked off today. That's Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. And this video here is to give my recap of what I took away from the WWDC Keynote. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying I can't cover all of the features and everything that was covered in today's event, but I'm going to cover the top features that really stood out to me. There are quite a few of them, so definitely sit back, relax. This is going to be a little bit more lengthy of a video than most videos are here on the TTandE channel. So let's go ahead and jump into this right now. We're going to start this off with the announcement of OS X 10 Mavericks. So they're moving away from the Lion-based OS X 10s, given that they've had 9 of those. They couldn't come up with another Lion name, so they moved on to around the California area and decided to make it OS X 10 Mavericks, which will release this fall. It has not come out yet. Developers did get a sneak peek of it now. They do have a version that they are currently using, but it has not released to the public, and it won't until the fall, probably around the time that they release the iPhone 5S. So some of the features that stood out to me in OS X Mavericks is you're actually going to get Finder tabs. Now, if you do notice me looking down, I do have my Galaxy S4 down here with all of my notes, so I hope that doesn't bother you guys if I keep moving back and forth. But back to Finder tabs. So everybody uses the Finder a bunch in OS X 10, and the awesome thing is that now you have tabs. So instead of having to open up multiple windows of Finders, you can just open up another one in a separate tab. So it's cool, definitely really awesome for multitasking. They did come out with a new calendar application, which actually looks a whole lot sleeker. It does have some pretty cool features, like you can tag certain things in it. You can look at pop-up tabs for events and things like that, and it will link your location and stuff, and if you have a lunch date set or something, it will tell you how far that restaurant is away from you. It can link to Yelp reviews and recommendations and things like that. So the calendar application has been hooked up a whole lot more than it is currently in OS X Mountain Lion. Another cool thing about it is they added tags into OS X Mavericks. It's pretty cool, so you can tag pretty much all of your documents with certain names and things, so you can group them all together by tag and stuff. But it's pretty cool. It definitely makes things a whole lot easier and more simplistic when you're bunching everything together. Another cool feature that I really liked that they came out with was a new AirPlay feature. So we all use AirPlay. If you have an Apple TV, you like to mirror your computer to your big, huge 50-inch TV. I know I do it all the time when watching certain movies or showing back YouTube videos to my family and things like that. It is a really cool feature. The one thing that I've always hated about AirPlay is that you can't use it as an external display. All it does is mirror your current desktop of your Mac. So the cool thing is that you can actually mirror it as an external display, leaving it off in the distance on your huge TV as its own monitor, instead of having to worry so much about just mirroring your actual desktop, which I think is a super cool feature that they added in OS X Mavericks. Another thing talking about external displays is they added a feature called dual displays. And what's cool about this is, as you guys know from me and all of my editing features and stuff, I do rock multiple displays. And the cool thing about this is, the one thing that always frustrates me about that is that I can't access all of my applications from one of the external displays. I always have to move back to the normal desktop, whether it's on my MacBook Pro or my iMac. And the cool thing with this is that on those external displays, you can access applications. You can even access the dock itself on the external display. So that's really cool. It definitely makes multitasking a whole hell of a lot easier, and I really do like that. Some other features, they did add in iBooks and Maps as well, that are big, huge iOS features that are now integrated into OS X Mavericks. They really did try to take with the success of iOS, they've moved a lot of the iOS features now into the OS X operating system. I do think that's really good. They've been so successful on the mobile devices that it is really cool that they're moving those onto the actual workstations themselves. So that's pretty cool that they've added those features. I really hope that the Maps app that they release with OS X Mavericks works a whole hell of a lot better than the one that they used when they launched iOS 6, because that thing was a crapshoot. It was a whole disaster, as you all remember. So I really hope that that feature, from what we saw in the WWDC keynote, it did look a whole lot better, but only one will tell in the fall when it is released to the public. And as I said again, it is releasing sometime this fall. I'm assuming it'll probably happen with another big Apple event when they launch the iPhone 5S or whatever they're going to call it, along with iOS 7. So that will be, we'll talk about more about iOS 7 actually right now. So iOS 7 was another thing that was announced today at WWDC's keynote. It's pretty cool. They completely rebooted the entire operating system, so it does work pretty much nothing like iOS 6 currently does. It's a flat design, which we were all expecting from all the rumors and stuff from all the bigger tech blogs and things. Everyone was pretty right on with that flat design, as well as the 7 that they used for the announcement for this WWDC keynote. They've added in a whole bunch of new multitasking features, which is pretty awesome. For me, as you know, I'm an Android user, and I love the multitasking features on Android devices. Well, they've now kind of taken that idea and ran with it on the new iOS 7 platform for Apple, so I am very excited about that. It really does look a whole lot cleaner. Everything moves a whole lot more fluid. There's not as much junk around. It really is just cut and dry. It's probably one of the most attractive looking operating systems, but to me, I'm still a little weary about it. It still does look a little bit boring in my opinion. They added a new control center, which is pretty cool, so you can swipe up from the bottom of your device, and it pulls up a control center with a bunch of shortcuts like flashlights and airplane mode and turning your mobile data on and off, Wi-Fi, those kinds of things. Similar widgets to what are in Notification Center on an Android device. So that's pretty cool that they added those in as well. They have a new photo app, which I'm really excited about because I hate how in the current photo app on iOS 6, it pretty much just bunches all your photos in a big long stream. You got to scroll all the way through them. It takes forever and a day to get through. So this is cool because it groups them by location. So anything that GPSs to where your phone took those pictures, and then it locates them and puts them all together in a little folder marked whatever that location is, whether it's home or Palo Alto, California, or whatever. It groups all of those into one thing. So it's a lot easier to sort through your photos. They also added AirDrop for iOS. We all know that AirDrop has been a very successful feature on OS X 10, so it is pretty awesome, or just OS X in general, so it is pretty awesome that they added AirDrop into iOS as well. They have a whole new notification center, which definitely looks a whole lot cleaner and awesome. I do really like the way that it looks, and I'm very excited for that. And there's a whole lot more. I can't bunch all of these features into this video. There's a whole lot more, and this will also be releasing sometime in fall of 2013 of this year. Again, probably at an event that Apple holds where they announce the iPhone 5S as well as OS X 10 Mavericks. So now moving on from that, they did announce a couple of products today, a reboot of the MacBook Airs, which is pretty exciting. They didn't change anything physically different with these MacBooks, but they're supposed to have a much better battery life. So the 11-inch MacBook Air is supposed to come in at about 9 hours of screen on time, which is pretty awesome. It's a whole hell of a lot more than what the current 11-inch is. And then the 13-inch MacBook Air is now supposed to be a recommended 12 hours of screen on time. That is a lot of time for such a super compact little Ultrabook, for a better way of explaining it. So that is awesome that they're extending battery life. They also upped the flash storage. It's supposed to be 45 times faster than the current flash storage in the current gen MacBook Air. So that's also pretty awesome as well. They are both rocking Haswell processors. As we know, Haswell was released about a week ago. So those will be in the new MacBook Airs as well. The starting point for the 11-inch MacBook Air will be $999, so it is a little bit cheaper starting point, as well as the 13-inch will be starting at $1099. So they have lowered the price a little bit, upped the battery life, so I'm pretty excited about those. And those are actually available to ship today. So the day of WWDC Keynote, they're already ready in the Apple Store. You can order them to ship today. So the last thing that was announced today at the WWDC Keynote is a product that we're all super excited about, and is a refreshed Mac Pro. It's actually not refreshed, it's completely rebooted. I know, that's some pretty exciting news given the fact that the last time the Mac Pro was rebooted was all the way back in 2010. So that was 3 years ago. We keep wanting a refresh or a something different with the Mac Pro. Well, your wishes have come true today. So this thing is an absolute powerhouse. It's about a third of the size of the actual Mac Pro, and it's in a cylindrical black shape. It looks super stealthy, definitely super attractive, definitely something that Apple has done very well, is always matching aesthetics and making products look super good, and they did not disappoint with the design of the new Mac Pro. So I'm going to give you a few features that definitely stood out to me. I can't cover all of the features in this because of time restraints for this video, but I'm going to jump into them right now with the ones that stood out to me. Now the first thing is that this thing is rocking an Intel Xenon E5 chipset. It's a new, completely refreshed Intel Xenon processor. It's only going to be a 12-core model. There isn't an 8 and 4-core like there were before, or if there are, they haven't announced those yet. But just this one was a 12-core machine, which is a beast. It's going to be rocking 40 gigs of PCI Express Generation 3 bandwidth, which is absolutely super fast. They also have 4-channel DDR3 memory running at just under 2 gigs of memory, which is absolutely awesome. Super fast. It's actually running about 1.8 gigahertz. Super fast. The graphics, it's rocking a AMD Fire Pro workstation with 6 gigs of dedicated VRAM. So it's pretty awesome, super fast. It's actually capable of editing in full 4K resolution while still running background tasks, which for me as an editor, which I edit videos for a living, that is just unbelievable to me that at that high of a resolution that you can still be running a bunch of other background tasks at the same time. That's just almost mind-boggling to me. Another pretty cool thing about it is that it is going to be rocking Thunderbolt 2 capability, which, as we all know, the current Mac Pro can't even rock the original Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt was released after the last reboot of the Mac Pro. This thing's going to be rocking Thunderbolt 2, which is going to be 20 gigabytes a second, whereas the current Thunderbolt rocks it at 10, so it's going to be double that. It's pretty awesome. It's going to be capable of rocking 4K resolution displays, which is going to be awesome. So you can be having a bunch of those since there's going to be a few Thunderbolt ports on the back of the Mac Pro. And there's a whole bunch of other awesome things I'll be showing you now as you're looking on the screen. It's looking at all of the Mac Pro specifications and all the different things that are being offered in this next generation Mac Pro. So there hasn't been an official launch date set for this yet or a price point. It will be launched later on this year. I'm hoping around the fall time frame, along with those other products that I talked about, but I'm not quite sure exactly when it's going to be released, but it is absolutely awesome. And I'm telling you now, Apple, you can take my wallet. I will be getting my hands on one of these come hell or high water because it will make my life a whole lot easier doing what I do for a living. So guys, that pretty much covers it for WWDC 2013 Keynote. This is all the recap. I know this video was much longer than most videos here on the TTandE channel, but I did want to feed you guys as much information as I could without going too long and getting long-winded and just spending all day here in front of the camera. With the amount of information that was released at today's Keynote, I could talk to you pretty much all night long. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely keep it locked on the TrizzTech&Electronics channel for a whole bunch of Apple coverage coming up here. As I said, we got new MacBook Airs, we've got the new Mac Pro, iOS 7 is going to be out soon, and OS X 10 Mavericks. So as I said, hope you enjoyed. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for all of that content to come at you here shortly. We also have a video recapping today's Microsoft Xbox One event, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys. Peace.